excited today to do a very special episode of the Hallmarkies podcast where we are getting to know some of our co-hosts. This is so much fun. And a lot of these co-hosts you will have seen on the show a lot. So all three, what am I saying? And but we're very excited because we are actually, as opposed to just being guest co-hosts, we are now having they are co-hosts of the podcast, involved in all the planning. It's very exciting. We have a team. That's right. Hallmarkies team. It's very exciting. And so today I have with us, I'm Rachel, and we have Lisa's here.
Hi, guys.
Yes. And Kaycee is here.
Hello.
And Georgia's here.
Hi.
Yay. And so there are a couple people who aren't here who are official co-hosts, of course. So Amber's not here. She has school, and that is why she hasn't been here as much in March. But she's still very active, involved. Don't worry. She's very, very invested as far as planning and other things like that. And but it's just been a very busy month for her. And then Amy, our dearest Amy, isn't here because she is taking a big test for her job. She wants to become a teacher, and she has to take this big test today. It's like 5 hours, so it's super crazy. But we've already gotten to know Amy tons and tons. And in fact, she has done both of the Teen Beat questions. She did the holiday one with us in our Ask Questions episode, and she did the regular Teen Beat questions in the July 4th episode. So I'll put links to both of those if you want to get to know Amy better. There you go. So we're going to do the Teen Beat questions. As if anybody who follows our podcast knows that that Amber found the Teen Beat questions of Get to Know You in an old issue of Teen Beat. But first, we're going to give our co-hosts a chance to introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about what you do in your life and how you became a Hallmarkie. Whatever you feel like introducing yourself, introduce yourself. And so, Lisa, what about you? What was your journey to becoming a Hallmarkie?
Oh my gosh. Well, it started in 1978. No, I'm just kidding. So I'm Lisa, and I'm originally from Texas, so that's why you hear me say a lot of y'alls, lot of do-whats, a lot, it's the Texan in me. I currently live in the Northeast, where I've learned how to shovel snow, and I'm amazing at it now, so boom. By day, I'm a graphic designer. By night, I guess all day, I'm a mom. Can't really give that up. You can't really be like, not right now.
Right.
By night, I fall into Hallmark because it was a few years ago. I think it was, gosh, I don't remember what movie it was, honestly. I think it was that one where Kelly Martin gets drunk at her bachelorette party.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a Nina one.
Yeah. And it was one of those ones where I was doing laundry, and I was just kind of back and forth, and I just kept coming back to it, and I was like, man, these are easy to keep on in the background and just have on all day. And yeah, just kind of snowballed from there. So
very cool. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever seen that ad that is the guy, he's poking his head in the door or whatever, and he's like, I can't come into work today. I'm sick, or blah, blah, blah. And then it shows that it's the baby. So yeah, that's what I thought about. You said no sick days.
No, there are no sick days.
No. All right, very good. Well, Kaycee, what about you? Your journey to Hallmarkies.
So I'm Kaycee, and I'm getting over an illness, so that's why I sound very hoarse right now. But I am from Florida. And y'all can be jealous that it's nice and warm here, but it's okay.
Rub it in.
Just come visit. We have the beach. It's great. But my journey to Hallmark. So I didn't really grow up watching a lot of Hallmark. I watched Sarah Plain and Tall when I was little, and I hated the movie. And I thought all Hallmark movies were like ridiculous and cheesy. And then my friend, actually with my first daughter, when I was on maternity leave, I was trying to find something to watch on Netflix. And my friend was like, oh, you need to watch When Calls the Heart. And I was like, whatever. Because I also hated Love Comes Softly because they kill off, well, spoiler alert, they kill off Willie. And my heart has not been the same since. I couldn't watch past when he died. I was like, no, this is no. So I kind of swore off Hallmark, but I watched When Calls the Heart because, like, what am I going to do at 2 a.m. feeding a child who's crying? And then like 12 episodes later, I was like, okay, we got to get the Hallmark Channel. And then it just kind of snowballed from there because I really wanted to know what happened. And then I started watching all the movies, like in addition to watching When Calls the Heart and stuff. So that was only like almost 4 years ago, 3-4 years ago that I became a Hallmarkie, all because of When Calls the Heart.
Very good. Your husband's like, why did we introduce her to that show?
Oh, it's my friend. It was my best friend. Yeah. My husband's like, what are you watching? Oh, this is super unrealistic. Oh, wait, watch it. She's gonna trip in his arms. See, I told you, she tripped in his arms. They're gonna fall in love. So
like it. It's amazing. And I want to watch it again.
Yeah. But he does well. I take the credit for him. Really, kind of slightly. He won't admit it, but he does enjoy Garage Sale Mystery. May it rest in peace.
Yeah.
So sad. We were really disappointed. And also Signed, Sealed, Delivered.
Yeah.
He actually was like, oh, that's actually really well written. Unlike that other show that you watch with like the Mountie that died.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Very good. I mean, it's funny that you started out not liking their because it was ridiculously cheesy. Like, yeah, it pretty much is.
I know. It's the best.
Yeah, that's so funny. So, all right, Georgia, tell us your journey to Hallmarkies.
Well, I'm Georgia. I'm from California, born and raised, so it's nice and warm here too. So if you want to be jealous of that. I have a little pug. I love NSYNC and I love Hallmark. And I remember the first movie I watched was A Carol Christmas with Tori Spelling.
Yeah.
And I was waiting for my mom and my sister to come home from doing Christmas shopping because they were out late. And so I was out in the family room with my dad, and he very rarely was like, oh, you can watch whatever you want, because there wasn't really anything on. And we found that, and I don't know why, I was sucked into it. And then I didn't watch Hallmark for, what would that have been, probably like 10 years or something. I don't think we had it. And then one year, I got into it Lost Valentine, really started getting into it. And then Window Wonderland and all these movies, Bride for Christmas, it just sucked me in. And I was like, what is this? Like, it's a channel that has all these just perfect movies all the time. And I was hooked, completely hooked. And I personally have had health things. I have a condition called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And so I was having trouble with that for a while. And it actually really, it's like the most comforting thing I think I've ever encountered, where you're just like, oh my God, if you're down, if you're sad, if you're hopeless, whatever, you watch Hallmark and you just feel better. Like, everything feels better. And now my brothers like it. My dad is like, oh, this movie's stupid. Like, nobody's going to do that. And then he quotes them. He actually legitimately quotes them now. And so we watch Hallmark every single day, and we all love it. And it's the best. And so the Christmas movies really got me into it. But watch, Chesapeake Shores. Sorry, Rachel. Watch Good Witch.
Not just me.
Year round.
Kaycee and Lisa as well.
How do you not like Chesapeake Shores? I don't know. Maybe if you have, because I'm the youngest of 6 kids, and so seeing all the kids, it's like, oh boy, how are they like making fun of each other and how they interact? It feels nice to see a big family on TV.
If we cover it this season, we'll have to have you on as an additional co-host.
I legitimately love it, which is why I get mad.
I don't know if it's bad or good. I just love it. I don't know. Maybe I'm not a good judge of it. I just love it no matter what. I never miss it.
I love it. That's good. Very, very, very good. Yeah. I can relate to a lot of what you guys are saying, actually. So I've had a bit of a week, if anybody has followed me on Twitter. My other channel, Rachel's Reviews, got a little bit of not nice stuff happening, with some not nice responses to my Shazam review. And it was very intense and very stressful. And at a certain point, I called my brother, and I was trying to calm down because I hadn't slept in 48 hours because I was so wound up, and because of what had happened. And I had watched about 20 minutes of Love to the Rescue, whatever, from this last weekend. And I was, my brother's there, and he's been on the podcast actually once talking about Psych. And I was just like, I just want to watch this movie. And he's like, okay. So me and my brother just sat there watching. It was so comforting. It was like, I feel better. I feel better. And then I was finally able to get some sleep. So yeah, there is definitely some truth to what you say about Hallmark movies. You should always have one on your DVR at all times. I have more like 20, but really they are so sweet and so comforting and like a hug. And I think that's what makes them really, really great. I mean, there's terrible ones, let's not lie. But
those are better than a lot of the stuff on TV.
As far as my journey to being a Hallmarkie, a lot of people know sort of some of the stuff, but I was more of a Christmas movie watcher. And then I actually loved Love Comes Softly. That was probably that was my gateway drug, as we like to say, to Hallmark, was Love Comes Softly. I got the whole set of all of them on the DVD collector set or whatever, and I just really liked all of them. I thought they were really inspirational, and they did a good job with themes of faith, and that I thought felt believable, but weren't too kind of heavy-handed for the most part. And I don't know, I just really enjoyed it. And I'd have ones here and there that I liked. I always have loved How to Fall in Love. Anyway, originally, I think I would have really liked Sight Still Delivered, but I had that confusion. And I always watched them at Christmas because it's the best. Everyone watches them at Christmas. But I watched a lot of, in my the top 12 that we did, they were all pretty much older for the most part, because that was kind of when I had been watching, and it was just sort of random that I'd missed like 3-4 years where I'd only watched maybe 1 or 2 of the whole season. And anyway, I had met Amber through a group of Survivor fans, a podcast, Survivor podcast, and we had become friends, but we'd only met like twice. We'd become friends on Facebook or whatever, but we had a number of common interests and things, and we had met for a couple Survivor things, and I put on Facebook, I said, hey, would anybody like to cover Anne of Green Gables with me? And there's Anne with an E is coming on Netflix. It looks so great. And poor Amber, she's like, why did I ever agree to that? I don't know. But she did. And so we did the Kevin Sullivan ones from the 80s. And of course, that first one is one of my favorite media things, whether it's a movie or TV or whatever, is one of my favorite things ever. I love it. And then the second one is not as great, but it's still watchable. And the third one we pretend doesn't exist. And then it's terrible. And then we watched Anne with an E, and it took us to a dark place. And we did our podcast, and we hated it. It was terrible. It was horrible. It wasn't for us. But we had a lot of fun hating it, I guess, on the podcast. And the podcast did pretty well. We got, I don't know, something like 5,000 listens, which for my channel, especially then, was pretty good. And we had fun doing it. And so, Amber was the one who kind of encouraged us, let's do it as its own thing. Let's branch the podcast out. And so we did like 2 more on my channel. We did our top 12 of Christmas, and we did we did like 3 or 4, because we did a couple, season 1, season 2, then season 3 and season 4 of One Calls the Heart, and reviews I think was still on my channel. And then we did Summer Nights Recap 2017. And then after that, we started the official Hallmarkies podcast. It was like in October 2017, and boom, the world was changed forever. So all of a sudden I became this huge Hallmarky when I had been, it's just an interesting thing how things work. And I'm glad it has. I didn't expect it to take over my life, but I'm glad it did. So it's an interesting thing how things happen. And it's certainly, I've made so many amazing friends, and it's just been great. And I've had so much great feedback from the listeners. So it's I don't know, and I know even though it's been stressful for Amber sometimes, it's been stressful for all of us, but I know she would say the same, and it's been a real blessing. So anyway, all of that, we got our introductions out of the way. Pretty fun. Thank you guys for doing that. We are going to do the Team B questions, and it's going to be pretty fun. So let's start out first. And I've never done these on the channel. So here we go. First question. It's very deep. What is the best ice cream flavor? All right, I'll go first. I think Rocky Road is the best ice cream flavor because, I mean, I'm not one of these crazy, insane people that doesn't like marshmallows. I'll say that right now.
Gross.
Yes. It has nuts and marshmallows and chocolate. It's just really yummy. So, yeah, that's what I'm going with. But I do also love just a really good sundae with like hot fudge and stuff. But all right, Lisa, what is your favorite ice cream?
The correct answer is chocolate. Okay, that's it. I'm done. Chocolate.
Do you have a particular brand of chocolate ice cream or just
Bluebell from Texas? Chocolate ice cream is amazing. Although there is a place down the street from my house that's a little independent shop. They do hard and soft ice creams, and they have this chocolate hard ice cream that I just, oh my God, it's so good. But it's like really expensive, so it's only a treat. Yeah, but it's good.
Very cool. All right, Kaycee, what about you?
So there's this brand, well, everybody knows it, Ben and Jerry's, but there's a kind, and I was going to Google it, but my internet's a little slow, but it's like, it has vanilla ice cream, and it has like the Blondie Oreos in it, and then Blondie chunks and caramel, and like a bunch of deliciousness in there. And it is so good. I have to like hide it in the freezer. So nobody else eats it.
I gotta know.
It's like the old ad with the lima beans bag, and everybody opens the fridge and looks, and then I think it's the mom or the dad pulls up the thing of the lima beans, and in there is the Ben and Jerry's or whatever, some ice cream.
Yes.
Yeah, use that strategy. Nobody likes lima beans. All right, Georgia, what is your favorite ice cream?
I mean, the go-to, always the best one for me is Baskin-Robbins chocolate chip, because it just doesn't really get any better. But there's a certain time of year where pumpkin ice cream is like all I can eat because it's so good.
Oh yeah, you're big. Are you big pumpkin spice?
I love pumpkin, just like, pumpkin spice everything. I know it's such a thing now. But it was before it was really like a big thing, and we started getting pumpkin ice cream. We have a little a barn that we go to get pumpkins at Halloween, and they have like freshly made ice cream there because it's little and stuff. Oh my God, it's so good. It's just like the creamiest. Yeah, it's a perfect balance of everything. I just love it. So it's a tie between those two.
Very good. Now I know you're all very hungry. Ice cream. But ice cream, I feel like, is the one thing that it's really hard to screw up. Although there's this place by my house that has these weirdo kind of like Hallmark flavors where they're putting like blue cheese and weird stuff. I'm like, no, it's not good. Not pretty. I didn't like that at all.
That's disgusting.
Anyway, so, all right. Favorite color. My favorite color is purple. I just really like purple. So, all right, Kaycee, what about you?
Teal.
Oh,
my favorite color is teal. You can see it's teal.
Okay.
My dining room is teal.
Lisa, what about you?
Well, gray.
Okay.
You couldn't tell, just gray.
Very good. Very good.
Gray and black. Yeah.
All right, Georgia, what about you?
I'm always a pink person.
Yes.
Hence this. I do. Always.
Yeah, I like pink might be my second favorite. It depends on what it's for. If you're talking clothes, obviously I'm wearing pink right now, so I'm a big pink fan. All right, what music are you into right now? I'm gonna start with Georgia because I know what she's gonna have a lot to say on this topic.
Ew. It's just always in sync. It's never not in sync. It's every single day of my life in sync. Yeah. I like other things, you know. I've been a Jason Mraz person, I've been a Beatles person, I've been a God, Kelly Clarkson person. Like, you know, music's great. But if you're talking like what's the thing you have to listen to all the time, it's always in sync.
So how would you rank the boy bands? You've got NSYNC, Backstreet Boys,
No.
New Kids on the Block.
Yeah. Backstreet Boys come last in my book. Oh. Okay, so who are we ranking? I'm sorry. Yeah. I got it turned off.
So NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, New Kids on the Block, and 98 Degrees. Those are the ones that are there others? I don't know. You can add.
There are plenty of
Boys to Men.
Boys to Men is okay. Yeah, so we're gonna have to put them
5.
second because so it's in sync.
We can come back to you if you need a second.
It's sync. Boys to Men, New Kids, 98 Degrees, Backstreet Boys are down down there. Yeah. That's just it. I've seen Boys to Men twice. I've not seen 98 Degrees or New Kids, so I can't say. We love Boys to Men, but it's just it doesn't get better than In Sync. Sorry, but not sorry.
Very good. You had that right. You had it.
All right,
very good.
I've given this a lot of thought. I appreciate the question.
Very good. All right, Lisa, what are you into?
So I got for Christmas I got a mini series to the Met Opera. So
you just went, right?
Yeah, I've been obsessed with, listening to a lot of operas lately, but then, it's cold here. And so in order to get me like out of the cold funk and like dreary skies, I've been really super into Khalid. I think he's from Brooklyn and he moved to El Paso, Texas. And when he was a senior in high school, put out this amazing album. And it's very summery and it's very teenagery and it makes me think of warm skies. Yeah. I'm an old mom listening to this like high school kids sing about being a teenager and I'm like, whatever.
I always think of Moonstruck whenever I think of the opera. Because there's a big scene. They go to the opera in that movie. So I was thinking that. Or Amadeus, one or the other. But Kaycee, what about you? What music are you into?
I don't listen to a whole ton of music. Just very eclectic and random stuff that comes up. But I do love a good musical soundtrack. So Wicked, Greatest Showman, Sound of Music, Oklahoma, Rodgers and Hammerstein. That is my jam.
Do you have a favorite Broadway musical?
It's Wicked.
Yeah.
It's Wicked.
It's really good. Maybe someday they will finally make the fabled Wicked movie. I don't know if it'll ever happen. But yeah, I'm kind of with Kaycee on this one. I listen to mostly podcasts. Shocker, I know. But that takes up most of my time. And then when I'm not listening to podcasts, I usually listen to audiobooks because I like to try to pretend I'm a reader. And I just don't have time to like read a paper book that often. But I also love scores. And I like to find really random, obscure scores. And I don't know, that's fun for me. But I like the classics too. I mean, John Williams, things like that, amazing. And I kind of like to try to be listening to whatever is kind of the new movies and listening to their scores. It's just fun for me. And I also love Broadway musicals. I was on a huge Dear Evan Hansen kick for a while. I really loved The Greatest Showman. I really I love Hamilton. It was great. And I actually got to see Hamilton last year, which was amazing. And so, yeah, I agree with you about, and I'm so excited that Hugh Jackman and Sutton Foster are going to be in The Music Man. Oh my gosh. We should make a trip because oh my gosh, I'm sure the tickets will be $1 million, but I just can't wait to get the original cast recording and just listen to it. Mm-hmm. So that would be incredible. Anyway, so all right, this should be interesting. what is your go-to date night food? And I'll start. I'll say. So I think for go-to date night food, I want something that is not going to spill. And I want something that's not going to be smelly. And so I don't want anything with a sandwich because then I'm going to get like stuff all over my hands. And there's great spillage thing. I've thought this through greatly. And so I think the best thing by far to get on a date is to get a steak or a piece of chicken that you can like cut up into small manageable bites. Nobody's going to embarrass it. And I would recommend getting mixed vegetables as opposed to a salad because sometimes the lettuce can be really big and you're like, it looks terrible. So that is my overall thoughts on my ideal date night food. But Georgia, what about you? What's your favorite date night food? Or ideal?
Well, if this were relevant to my life, I would probably, because this is all I ever eat when we go out anywhere. I'm a chicken, like not even chicken, but like chicken tenders and fries kind of person. That's like, yeah. I don't know. There's nothing else that ever sounds that appealing. Oh, hey, like a burger of some kind or like a sandwich, but really it's chicken.
Yeah. Always. Yeah. Do you have to have it off the bone?
No, I like just like you go to Applebee's, you get some chicken, you know, yeah. You go to Red Robin, you get some chicken. I'm a simple person when it comes to this. I don't like extravagant flavors. I don't like things that are like experimental. Yeah. It trips me up. I don't enjoy it. Just give me stuff I know and can rely on.
So you're not a fan of the blue cheese ice cream either then?
That sounds so gross. Oh my gosh. I can't. Because I'll try a bite of it or something, but like just don't mess with it, you know?
Yeah.
The reason the stuff is stuck around as long as it has, because it's good. People like it.
All right. Kaycee, what about you?
So the realistic answer is Chick-fil-A. That's what we always end up going. But if we are without children, I don't know, going to a good fish house down here, because I live on the Gulf Coast, so we have a lot of really good fish places. I know people are like, ew, but there's a thing with fish, you have to get it fresh.
Yeah, like
you can't just like get it from some random shop or like, you know, Piggly Wiggly or whatever. You have to get it fresh. So going to a good fish house, and the views are always amazing and on the water, and yeah, good food. Yeah.
All right, Lisa, what about you?
I mean, after 15 years, we're just like, well, you cook, no, you cook, and then we're like, whatever. Honestly, if we have a chance to go out and actually like make it a date, we really enjoy some sushi.
Yeah.
I don't care about breath because again, 15 years, I'm like.
So what's your go-to date night activity? And I've said this many times on this podcast, but for me, I think the ideal is to go to either a concert or some kind of thing like that. But I think you should go to the activity, and you could be a movie if you want. It's definitely like, if you're really trying to impress me, a concert, like if somebody took me to the Michael Bublé concert and then took me to dinner, it would be a good date. I'm saying that right now. It would be very impressive for me. But yeah, some kind of concert or movie or theater, and then dinner, and then we can talk all about it. I think it's much better than dinner and the movie. That's my theory.
I agree.
So what would be your ideal, Lisa?
Well, when we used to go on dates, because now where we live, there's zero family around, so there's no chance to do anything. But what we do enjoy is we're super competitive because we both come from athletic backgrounds, and so we like to try and beat each other at stuff. So like putt, basketball, nice. Whatever. I'm like, yes, let me go. Try and kick your butt at this.
All right, Kaycee, what about you?
Oh man.
Aside from Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. Just, I don't know. We're basic. I mean, we've known each other for over 10 years. So like going to the bookstore, taking a walk,
Yeah.
Just
Sometimes simple is best.
simple.
So, Georgia, what would be like your dream date? If somebody was like, wow, really trying to impress, and take notes, men listening in California, they're single.
I mean, I feel like it's obvious if NSYNC were to get back together, obviously an NSYNC concert, but I'm super, super competitive, so I'm not, as much as I want to say I'd like to go do like games and stuff, it does not bring out the best in me at all. It's not a good way to get to know me because it's not my best side. Ideal? I honestly don't know. Disneyland, you know?
Oh, that would be fun.
That'd be up there for me too.
You know, like we have a theater here. It's great. Put on fantastic shows, and so that's always fun too. But yeah, ideally Disneyland, and then you gotta know when to stop too, because sometimes people just keep going, and you get exhausted and you get hungry and you get cranky, and that's not good. So if someone knows how to handle Disneyland,
that is very true. I completely agree with all things you said. All right, so we're gonna go through some of these really quick. We have dogs or cats, and I will say dogs for me. I don't have any in my real life, but if I were going to, I'd pick a dog. Lisa?
Dogs.
Kaycee?
Dogs.
Georgia?
I feel bad. I should say cats, but my dog's my baby, so dogs. I love them all though, but dogs.
Yeah.
Dog team. Okay. Beaches or mountains? Definitely beaches for me. Lisa?
Mountains.
Kaycee?
Mountains.
Okay. Georgia?
California. You gotta go beaches.
All right. All right. So for this one, I'm just gonna say, does anybody pick fancy dress versus sweats?
Me.
Kaycee.
Really?
That is me. Yes.
Lisa.
I mean, good for you, dude. I can't wait to get home and take off my pants and get real with it.
I love dressing up. We used to have these like fine arts events at college, and we'd have to get all fancy, and I loved it. I was like, do my hair, get me on a pretty dress, make me look like a princess. Yeah,
that's
imagine
awesome.
being like that.
I do like dressing up. I actually do, but if I had to pick, I mean, I don't know. It is fun, but I certainly wouldn't want to do it every day. But every once in a while, it is fun to dress up. I agree with you. All right.
I'm just extra.
Dress up. You can't eat a lot.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
So I need stretchy pants. So.
All right. Favorite holiday, Georgia? What about you?
Christmas, but second is Valentine's Day, but Christmas.
And maybe each person say their second. That's a good idea. So yes.
No.
Or if it's Christmas, say your second. But if it's not Christmas, then you don't have to. I figure most people are going to say Christmas. But yeah, for me, I would say Christmas is my favorite, just because it's it would be, can you imagine if you didn't have Christmas? Like December would stink. It's such a blah time. Like as far as the weather, at least here, it's very gray.
Even
very,
November.
like because it's Christmas, it's like, oh, it's magical. It's right outside. It's wonderful. And so I think it's got to be. It's not as great when you don't have kids. Christmas is definitely way less fun, but it's still. And my second favorite is probably Halloween. My least favorite is New Year's Eve. I hate New Year's Eve. So Lisa, what about you?
Thanksgiving. Again, I said I like to eat, and there it is. Thanksgiving, man. And you know why? Honestly, it's because there's really no gifts.
Yeah.
I know there are other holidays where you don't have to do gifts, but when you have kids, like Easter, there's gifts. Valentine's Day, there's gifts. Like Christmas, obviously, there's gifts. But Thanksgiving is just about sitting around, and I force my kids to tell me something that they're thankful for, and I'm like, oh, we can't start until you say it. So, but yeah, it's food and family. Most there's no most everybody has that time off at some point, whether it's school or work. Everybody lets you, so everybody's together, and it's
a fun one, and as long as you don't get too stressed out off cooking all that food, it's a fun one. This last year I just went to Checorama. It's like a buffet place. It's like basically like Golden Corral. It was great.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to do this forever from now on because
I love it. I love the cooking. I love planning Black Friday, even though I don't go. I like really getting all the ads and saying, I wish. I love Thanksgiving.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, the thing I like about Halloween is I just think it's really fun to like plan your costume and get creative, and that's what I like about it. Yeah. And I am a big candy fan, so that's fun too. But Kaycee, what about you? What's your favorite?
Well, Christmas. I would say second, probably Thanksgiving, just because it is the kickoff to the Christmas season, and just having all the family around and food and shopping and what can I say? Yeah. Extra.
Very good. Well, so the last question on the team beat is very difficult for us because it's your favorite Hallmark movie. And I'll let you say a favorite Hallmark Christmas movie and a favorite regular movie if you want. So you can basically do whatever you want, or nobody's like keeping track here. But my favorite is How to Fall in Love is my favorite non-Christmas. And then my favorite, that's right. And then my favorite Christmas is Trading Christmas is my favorite. I love it. So, all right, Kaycee, what about you? What's your favorite?
Oh boy. I guess my favorite, this is probably cheating, but it really is my favorite Hallmark movie, is the Signed, Sealed, Delivered Higher Ground movie.
Yeah, it's so
it is so amazing. I can watch it all day, every day. Yeah. Just that one.
Yeah.
I think it's because it hits close to home with the hurricane thing. Because I do remember Katrina and the effects of it down here. And then the whole storyline, and you laugh, you cry, you're just like, and the everything's amazing. The ending is the best in the entire world. Like, oh my gosh. So that is my favorite non-Christmas. Christmas, that's really hard. I think from last season, I would probably say I really like Godwin's Christmas. That was a really sweet one.
That was a good one. That was a very good one. All right, Georgia, what about you?
Oh, this is like picking your favorite child. Because How to Fall in Love is so good. Yeah. But I don't know. I got into 7 Year Hitch like crazy. I love 7 Year Hitch so much. And then Very, Very Valentine is like way up there. Oh, it's so hard. I mean, I don't know. Since you already said How to Fall in Love, Very, Very Valentine has a few years left to solidify. I'll say 7 Year Hitch because it's so great. It's just perfect. Christmas movie, so mean. It has to mean. God, I love Snow Bride so much. Like I cannot tell you how many times I've watched Snow Bride. But My Christmas Love was also like, it's one of my favorite movies just like ever, really. I love that movie. Uh-huh. So basically if you throw Bobby Campo in, you're good.
Very good.
I can't decide between those two.
Georgia's favorite Christmas movie is Bobby Campo.
I support that.
Bobby Campo. There you go. That's it.
I do think that the Signed, Sealed, Delivered Christmas movie would be very high up on my list. That was very good. I love that one. Lisa, what about you?
Oh, I have like a 4-way tie, but I'm going to go ahead and narrow it down to one for my non-Christmas movie, and it's a recent one. Not terribly recent, but it's that All for Love, that Sarah Rue movie.
So good.
Just watched it today, Lisa. It's so good.
I love it. I love her. Mm-hmm. I love Tara Rothery. I just love the story. I love how Tara Rothery wasn't like vindictive. She was just supportive, but she was strong, and she was just like, look, you got to do your job. And Sarah Rue went through her, like, just trying to trust people, and I just love it. I just love it.
That's a really good pick.
Yeah. So, and then my Christmas movie. Okay, I'm gonna go with the one because I have a lot of favorites, but I'm gonna go with the one that have returned to the last 2 years to rewatch during Christmas, and that's A Christmas to Remember. The one with Mira Sorvino where she gets in that car accident and she can't remember who she is, and it's got Cameron Matheson. I mean, hello.
What is that called? A Christmas to Remember or something like that?
Yeah, Christmas
that
to
one,
Remember,
that's a good one.
So that's the one I've been watching a couple times the last couple seasons. Like, so I'm gonna still got it DVR'd.
Very cool. All right. So what we decided to do, because I was worried this wouldn't take up enough time with the team beat, is we asked everybody on Twitter 3 questions. What is your favorite movie, favorite book, and favorite non-Hallmark TV movie? Because we're trying to expand beyond the team beat questions. And so we'll get our answers real quick. And but I thought I'd share first what we got on Twitter. So from Michelle Benson, she says The Princess Bride, favorite movie. Book, Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky, who also adapted the movie and also directed the movie, which is very unusual. And it's one of my favorite movies. I absolutely love it. TV movie 61 Degrees, I guess. She says it's an oldie, and that's probably really dated now. No one would tell. So I don't know. So Single Table for One, it just says Pride and Prejudice, book and movie. Everything Pride and Prejudice. Brian Hours says Sliding Doors for the movie. In Hero Years, I'm Dead by Michael Stackpole. TV movie, it has to be the Librarian trilogy. So there you go. Dan from Deck the Hallmark, he piped in. He said that it was the Silver Screen Fiend by Patton Oswalt. This is not a novel, but awesome nonetheless. His favorite movie is Warrior. He says, not necessarily my favorite, but underrated and powerful. TV movie, first he says pass, and he's like, if I have to choose, I pick Steven Spielberg's Duel, which is actually a pretty fun movie, so it was a good choice. So, so then Terry, she says Jane Eyre for favorite book, and I'll say Jane Eyre for everything else because I've seen them all. I'm a tad obsessed. So I told her she could come on our eventual Jane Eyre episode of podcast. So that'll be good.
Yes.
Yes. Beth from Music Chick 8604, she says a favorite movie is Cinderella or Beauty and the Beast. Book is Dancing with Fireflies by Denise Hunter. TV movie is Model Behavior. It's her favorite. I think that's Disney.
Sorry. Yes. No, I don't have to say it. Oh.
So Sarah from Sassy Pants 25, she says Princess Bride, East of Eden, that's Steinbeck, and Sybil is her favorite. And then let's see. And then Glory Gertz says Return to Me. So that's for just her answer. So there you go. Oh, and then Amber, she piped in with her favorite. And her favorite book is Anne's House of Dreams in Ellen Montgomery. Her favorite movie is The Philadelphia Story. And her favorite TV movie, non-Hallmark, is Reality of Love, aka I Want to Marry Ryan Banks. And that has Jason Priestley and Bradley Cooper in it. So it's pretty good. That's a pretty good one. So, all right, let's do our answers. So let's start. Georgia, why don't you start?
Oh, God. Okay. This is like super, super hard. Everybody knows. I don't know how I could not pick for favorite movie Legally Blonde because it's just perfect. Change nothing about it. It's perfect. It's the best. I can watch it 10 times in one day. Favorite book is probably, because I couldn't pick one, but I was a big Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants fan. But there are 5 of them. Don't pick the 5th one, but any of the other 4.
There are 5 of them?
There are 5. Don't read the 5th one. Save yourselves. Do not read it. I swear you don't. Just live in joy and don't read the 5th one. But the other 4.
I kind of want to read the 5th one now.
Don't, I swear. Just don't, please. They're like, there's good stuff about it, but it's not worth it.
We'll definitely have George on for our eventual Sister of the Traveling Pants episode.
Because you're not getting me started on that second movie and how they combine the other books. Oh my gosh, they left out so much good stuff. So, favorite book, any of those 4. And then favorite TV movie is what's killing me because I wanted to say Model Behavior, but that already got a vote. You know I love my motocross, but if I'm not going to say, it's so good. It's so good. Because it's like one of my favorite movies ever. But if I'm not going to say a Disney Channel movie, because there's so many, I would have to go with the Brandy version and Whitney Houston version of Cinderella, which is perfect. I love it. It's just like one of the happiest things I've ever seen. And I have it and I watch it and I love it.
Very good. Very good. So Lisa, your turn.
Okay, so what am I doing first? Movie?
So, favorite book, favorite movie, and then favorite TV movie.
Okay, so
Not Hallmark.
Okay, so favorite movie is State and Maine. I could watch that every day, and I quote a lot of it. Favorite book is a YA book called Jellicoe Road, or I guess here in the States it's On the Jellicoe Road, by Melina Marchetta. And then TV movie, I said this once before when we did our sports one, but I love A Quarterback Princess. So if I can't say that again, then I'm going to go with the TV miniseries from when I was a kid, North and South, with Patrick Swayze.
Oh, it's so good.
Shut up, I love it.
Really good. Okay, good. All right. Well, I love all the different versions. That's a different North and South than
my not the Elizabeth Gaskell. Yeah, not that one.
Still a good one.
The Confederate, North versus
yeah.
Yeah.
So, so Kaycee, what about you?
Okay, favorite book. Favorite book is probably Even Now. It's part of, there's two, Even Now, and then the sequel is Ever After, and it's by Karen Kingsbury. It's really, really good, and I always let people borrow it all the time. And then my favorite movie is it's book, movie, and then TV movie, right?
Yeah.
Okay, movie, Anne of Green Gables, of course. Obsessed. I love Anne of Green Gables. It's if you ever redo that thing and you want to talk about Anne of Green Gables again, let me know.
Okay.
I did my senior thesis paper on Anne of Green Gables, the book, in college for my major. So that's why. And then TV movie. I honestly haven't watched a whole lot of TV movies lately, so I'm gonna default to over 10 years ago to High School Musical, because I can't. I don't even care. I have the CD still. I will jam in the car to the original soundtrack because
Amy can verify. If you come to visit, I can take you to where they shot High School Musical. So it's pretty fun. It's very exciting.
Good. Excellent. Hey, Kaycee, I was like, somebody else, please say it. Please. So much.
I really enjoy it. I almost all. Wasn't a big fan of Freaky Friday. It wasn't my favorite, but other than that, I've enjoyed all the Disney Channel musicals. I really like Zombies. That was really good, I thought. But anyway, I don't understand why they get so much hate. I think they're fun. Anyway, my favorites. I love North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell. As far as my favorite classic novel, it is just amazing. But then my favorite modern novel is The Book Thief by Marcus Zussek. I just absolutely think it's brilliant and so inventive and so moving and brilliant. So that's my favorite. My favorite movie is, I've talked about it a lot on the podcast, but my favorite movie is an anime film called Your Name, which I just love. I think it is so brilliant. I think it's so funny. I think it's so beautiful. I think the message is great. Every time I watch it, I learn something new and a new reason why I like it. It's funny, it's dramatic, it's romantic. It's got everything, in my opinion, that you could want in a movie. And I just absolutely love it. So that's my favorite. I do also love Pixar's Up. Is one of my favorites. Makes me think of my grandpa, and I just miss him so much. And so that's one of my favorites. And then my favorite TV movie was probably the Anne of Green Gables from 1985. But since we talked about it a lot, I love a little movie from Lifetime called Love Notes with Antonio Cupo and Lara Layton. And he plays a country music star, and she's works for NPR. She's like a classical music reporter, and she goes to cover him, and they end up having this deep conversation, and they end up she ends up pregnant. Let's put it that way. It's very exciting, and she has to try to find him again and get him to sign over because she's going to give the baby up. And it ends up becoming this road trip movie, and it's actually really cute and really sweet and really romantic, and it has some heart to it. It's really good, and don't worry, it's not too scandalous. It's definitely not too bad, I promise.
That's one.
Anyway, I really like it. It's really good, and Antonio Cupo is. So there you go. That's the answer to all the questions. Now you guys know us completely in and out, all our tastes, everything that we like. So So, Lisa, how can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Girl Gone Hallmark.
Great. And Kaycee?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Hallmark My Words, and my blog is linked there too.
Great. And Georgia?
You can find me on Twitter at Georgia Speech.
Great. And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews on iTunes and on YouTube. I really appreciate any support, especially lately, that you could give me over there. It would be really nice. But make sure you're following the podcast at Hallmarkies Pod, all of our social media. And if you're listening on iTunes, if you can give us your reviews and ratings, we really appreciate it. If you're listening on or watching on YouTube, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate that. If you're interested in getting any of the books or movies that we talked about, we'll put down our link. Go to hallmarkiespodcast.com/Amazon, and you can help out the podcast and purchase your favorite new movie and book. It'll be really fun. So check that out. We would really appreciate it. And let us know in the comments section what your answers to the Teen Beat questions are. I'll put them in the description section so you can check them out. Tell us what your favorite books are, your favorite movies, all that fun stuff. We would love to talk about it. Let us know on Twitter. We'll have a fun conversation. So thanks so much. And we'll talk again soon, you guys. And thanks for doing this little Get to Know You podcast. Bye.
Bye, guys.